Just got back from my local used bookstore with an absolute haul because every day in class I have my students do 10 to 15 minutes of SSR. They can read whatever they want. They could read a novel, they can read a graphic novel, they can read a magazine, they could read short stories. They have to have a physical book that they are reading in class. This not only helps just flourish a level of reading, but it helps build their confidence in reading things that are more complex, helps with test scores and practicing that skill every single day. I'm teaching 9th and 12th grade this year. A student just talked to me about Alan Gratz. So I found one from the shelves. I haven't read this one yet. This is called 2 Degrees. I remember reading the Kingdom Keepers books when I was younger. I found the second one and the fifth one. I'm not sure if they're consecutive, but I think you understand the gist if you know the characters. So maybe I'll just quick introduce the characters and then put these out there. Graphic novels, baby. This one is called Snow Angels. I'd never heard of it, but this is the back. The trench folk survive in this hostile world followed by the 3 testaments of the trench. Golden rules repeated like a mantra from birth to death. 1, the trench provides. 2, you must never leave the trench. 3, the trench is endless. What? One of the workers also introduced me to Descender, which is a sci-fi set in space. Of course, The Walking Dead, would I compare my first hour of 9th graders to? Actually, that's a lie. There's 29 of them and they're quite loud. One looks super cool. It's kind of like Choose Your Own Adventure, but it's called Mystery in the Mansion. Bridge to Bat City, about a young girl and her colony of bats looking for their home and ways to fit in. This one's called Furthermore, and it was giving Alice in Wonderland vibes. Holes and The Giver, which are iconic middle grade classics. I was actually just talking to another ELA teacher about what it would be like to read Holes with seniors in high school who already know the story, they're confident, the reading level is pretty easy, the story is easy to follow. To actually dive deep into the themes and the characterization and the psychology when students are already really confident with the story. Found the Maze Runner, Scorched Trials, and The Death Cure for $5 each. Figured that if students have already read the Maze Runner, they haven't read the sequels yet, so I've got all of those that are ready to rock. This one is called The Lie Will Kill You, and as I was reading the back, it was giving the Glass Onion vibes. A year ago, there was a party. At the party, someone died. 5 teens played a part, and up until now, no one has told the truth. Tonight, the 5 survivors arrive at an isolated mansion on the hills, expecting to complete a contest with a $50,000 grand prize. Of course, some things are too good to be true. Found the first Divergent. I wasn't a huge fan of the movies, but I absolutely love the books. Nick Stone, one of my favorite authors of all time, partnered with Marvel to create a story about Shuri. And last but not least, for my poetry lovers and freshmen and seniors that are just trying to find their place in the world, we've got Brown Girl Dreamin'. My grade total for 18 new books was just under $80. Support your local bookstores and your used bookstores. And yes, while I do use my own funds to create my classroom library, it is 100% worth it. And if you have ever bought a resource from me, you just contributed to these amazing texts that are going to change the lives of my students. Because if students can enjoy reading for fun, they are going to be more likely to engage with reading when it starts to get more complex in our classrooms. Drop a comment with any that you have read and absolutely loved. I'm always on the lookout for recommendations. And for more on how to make our students more confident readers, make sure that you like and follow for more engaging ELA.